Nathan. Rocky, want to see you.
I really don't think they flew 90 billion light years to start a fight.
Some say chill days so long gone, can't bring them back, no magic wand. Counting white cotton clouds, painted on the blue sky's crowd. And yet somehow that way is fake, with eternal hopeful flair. Pineapple pizza, Hawaiian ice creams, yeah. Can't wait to be a 3 days of you and me. I'm sailing. I'm sailing. I just can't wait for 3 days of you and me.
He's been cited by Forbes, The Wall Street Journal, Benny Johnson, Timcast, Dr. Jordan Peterson, and even the U.S. government.
But soon they'll wake up to see the summer sizzles in me.
We're doomed. Will this never end?
Dire wolves back and so are you.
Oh yeah,
Belvedere flying so the moon.
oh yeah.
And everyone's singing just the right tune. Maestro blasting on the jazz flute.
We are all participating in mandatory fun activities.
Jelly bean bonus, every flavor in the bag. Super movie star, but first gotta join SAG.
Keep our eyes open.
Wunderkind, super friend, where are you? Get a search warrant for the near clear blue.
It's scooping time.
And can't you believe that? We've been waiting on you, can't you see that? Put away the bad things they said to you.
You are a sad, strange little man. You have my...
After all, just have to call and say you're some kind of
Because you are the special.
epic. Epic, yeah, that's what you do. I'm talking about epic, it's all you know how to do.
You wake up blue to
Epic, it's on repeat for you. Oh, epic. Epic.
Hear ye, come on, to the never stopping daily strife, and it's called simpler times, they beckon so, floating on the water with no phone. Can we get away now, find a way now, somehow step out of this stream into a dream of slow it down. Jay says that he remembers a place before the never, ever, ever river severed our tranquility. Counting cars by Highway 30, sitting in the porch swing, guessing colors so poorly. Yeah. Is the next one a blue or red one? Maybe silver, maybe gray. What a way to spend a day.
Ladies
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the WDW Pro Show!
Guess what day it is? Huh? Anybody? Julie, hey, guess what day it is? Oh, come on, I know you can hear me. Mike. What day is it, Mike? Leslie, guess what today is?
It's hump day.
Woo woo! Woo woo, indeed. It's hump day, ladies and gentlemen. We've got, that's right. Oh my goodness, indeed. Over the hump, says Chris A426. And Patrick, good to see you out there too. Yes, a shout out was had yesterday.
Swift?
Oh, I'm sorry, Lou. Are you reading the
Snailer Swift? I haven't seen this one. This is
Lou, I can't believe you. You're reading the story early. We've got this whole segment, Lou.
Oh my goodness.
Not
well,
really.
It's up there. It's
not. Yeah. Okay. It's not a real segment, folks, but I had to bring this to you because it is breaking news. We keep you ahead of the culture curve around here. So, lest somebody claim, Pro, you're a phony, you're a fraud, you're faking it. Folks, we got to go. We got to shake it off with the big news of the day. BBC reporting this. Alex Pope. It's coming from the Pope. Snailer Swift has indeed become the world snail racing champion. Or should we say champignon? Oh, that's mushroom. Never mind.
Just when you thought there were no worlds left for her to conquer.
You know, Ron Coleman sometimes says, Pro, there's just not enough news for you to put out 4 videos a day on entertainment. And I always disagree with him. And now I feel like we've finally been vindicated. I feel like Ron will see this, know that this is the way we started a show, and he'll say, you know what? I now understand. I've seen the light. Says, ready, steady, slow was the order of the day at the World Snail Racing Championships, but not for the speedy snail sake. Snail sake? You, of Taylor Swift. In total, 271 slimy specimens were under the starters' orders at Grimston Cricket Club in West Norfolk, with the chance to become a global champion. And who would rise? Ladies and gentlemen, you know, Snailer Swift. Now, let me tell you, if you had a bad day today, okay? If you had a rough one, and you say, I don't know how I'm going to make it in this world any longer, at least you didn't watch snails try to cross a black line to a red line. At least you didn't bring in an actual tripod to try to catch this. And at least your mom, look at this little girl over here. At least your mom didn't make you come watch snails. And the only thing that you got to quell your fears, your cries, your desperation for anything better, like watching paint dry, was a hot dog. At least you weren't that.
Do they consider the losers to be, you should pardon the expression, sluggish?
You kill me.
Oh, this is desperation now that the World Cup's over, I guess. They're desperate for something to do, right?
World Cup goes over. Yeah, well, all the other snails except the champion became escargot. But the worst part is they had to hang out with the person with the blue hair back there. Oh, no, too harsh, too harsh. Yeah. Snail racing. Get over here, Lou. You stay over there.
Okay.
Lou, how you been, buddy?
Pretty good, I guess. You know, life goes on day to day, and some are better, and some are worse, and some are in between. Just like you and me and everybody else out there.
Everybody else. Speaking of everybody else, bring him in here. It's one guy. He's got a way with the wand, as they say. He's the real life fake wizard.
Hocus pocus.
Hocus pocus. Got you in focus. Welcome aboard, fake whiz.
I'm here.
You're here.
One day.
Having a good day. Hey, Wiz, you did a heck of a job on the Southeast Game Exchange. I just want to say this as we get started tonight. You pulled together what could have been a very tough go of it because stuff happened. We won't get into it. It was all behind the scenes. And Wiz fixed so many things. He was running around with duct tape. He had some little tacks, you know, just fixing everything. Dots were on I's, T's were crossed. And Wiz was never crossed with a single person. Smile on his face the whole time. Well, way to go, Wiz.
We had a job to get done, and by golly, we got it done.
By golly.
A long way to go and a short time to get there. Watch that wizard run, right?
That's right. He did. Wiz, tell us about Southeast Game Exchange and some of your favorite moments from the big con.
Oh, man. We had over 28 developers were there. Indie developers were there to showcase their games. And of the event, the event had over 10,000 people. This was the largest Southeast Game Exchange they've ever had, attendance-wise. And of that, over 2,000 of those people engaged in our indie game circuit that we put together. And they were also voting for their favorite games. So we walked away and we had over 2,000 games played, right? Over 2,000 sessions played. But as we're tallying that up, we're seeing that it's actually, even if one person played 2 games, right? If we play that, do the math there, over 4,000 sessions of demos were had, which is incredible. And 10 developers walked away with awards. And the fun's still not over because we're going to be running that. We're working on a kind of a post showcase award show video that's going to talk about the event and everything that we did. And that should be coming out at a later date, probably not too far in the very near future. We'll have that coming out. But man, what an incredible time. And it was really great to hang out with the YouTube family and get to meet a lot of you guys out there. It would not have been possible if people like WDW Pro weren't there with the team and all the friends that we had to come out to put this show on. It was not done by just me. It was a whole family operation of friends.
Well, you pat my back, I'll pat yours. I'll say this for Wiz. He is a gym on camera. He is a gym off camera. Wiz had it set up where he was going to be on a panel with Critical Drinker, the two of them, and came to me the day of and said, Pro, I'd like to know, would you be on the panel with us? And we just had a wonderful time, the three of us together, and packed house, standing room only. And Wiz, I thought you were on point. I thought Critical Drinker was on point, and I just thought we had a really good time there with the fans. And I want to say how much I appreciate you for that.
I just wish we had a little more time for a panel of that magnitude and the topics that we were discussing. I really wish we had more time to answer some of the questions from the people because we had great questions.
We had to cut the Q&A off. I mean, it kept going and going to the point that the room was needed for the next session, and we finally had to say, can't keep going. But boy, did we want to. Great questions and great people out there asking them.
I see here in the comments, people are any video of said panel, and yes, there is. We're going to be posting that. Again, at a later date, once we get everything figured out with that showcase video. But yeah, there's a WDW Pro live panel that we've got that'll be out there at some point. We've got the panel with Drinker, myself, and Pro that'll be out soon. We did a Culture Crossfire live and in person. So yeah, there's a lot of footage that will be eventually airing for Siege.
There you go. Very cool stuff.
I enjoyed just watching all the walking around the floor seeing stuff videos that you guys ran up. It was great.
Well, thank you so much. Happy to provide.
Entirely the kind of event that I just don't go to, even if I was showing my face. But I'm glad you all had a grand time, and it was fun vicariously to watch it.
Well, thank you so much. All right, let's get to the super chats right now, ladies and gentlemen. And I need to clarify this one for Joppy, because Joppy may be staying up way too late. Joppy, I'm going to have to apologize personally to you. You're asking for 50 Crowns member panel today. Joppy, I told you it would probably be Wednesday. It's going to be tomorrow. The reason is into the weeds, but all I'll say so that you understand is Lauren Connor does things when these shows end. Lauren Connor gets in and does all the technical wizardry and gets it set up to be made into individual videos and all that sort of thing. Lauren is traveling, and so that falls upon me and some others. And if I do a member exclusive segment tonight, that makes that go later into the night. And we've got some folks working on things that are not used to those hours. So I do apologize. It's a logistics thing. We're not doing this on purpose, but we will do the member exclusive thing tomorrow, Joppy. And I apologize if you've stayed up over in across the pond, if you stayed up for this and find out, oh no, Pro can't do it. Mark Fields for 199. By golly, here comes some positive vibes. Ooh, keep them coming. Thank you, Mark. Juliet for 2. Morning, WDW Pro panel and Pro Rides. Good morning to you. Mr. Dak, I'm not forgetting you. I'll come back and get the gifted memberships in just a second. Kayla for 5. Guess what day it is? Black Bears climbing power poles drunk after viewing the Odyssey Day in New Mexico. Desperate for an audience. Folks, we're going to talk about the Odyssey. It just keeps going and going, whatever is happening out there. Wiz, you saw the Odyssey today.
I did see it.
Would you definitely say it's one of the most movies ever?
Can we not talk? Like, I just can't wait for it to be over. I just, once this blows out of the news cycle, man, I'm excited for Spider-Man. I am more excited for Spider-Man now to take over the box office.
Well, now, wait a minute. Hold on. You're telling me you don't want to talk about the movie that is breaking up the Daily Wire? I mean, Ben Shapiro and Matt Walsh are going at each other right now over this. They're throwing blows online, dude.
It's such a 5 out of 10 movie. I can't believe that this is where we're drawing lines in the sand.
I gave it a 6 out of 10. You gave it a 5 out of 10. Well, we're on the same page. It's just a...
Yeah.
I've kind of decided I've got to go see it this week or next because if nothing else, I got to go see that 70 millimeter film system one more time before it fades into history. So I'm not looking forward to it, I got to tell you, but purely as a cineast, I feel like since it's so close, I should really go see it. So
I love these stories, Lou.
You
Go
make
ahead,
sure
Liz.
that you've got earplugs.
Uh-huh.
You're going to need them.
And Cyclops scene for sure. Yeah, I'm no kidding. The Cyclops scene is very piercing.
Well, I told you, didn't somebody's review, they talked about it was an oral, A-U-R-A-L assault, and the subtitle gizmo spelled it O-R-A-L, which I figured was better than rectal, but still.
Yeah. It'll rectal you up. Hey, Lou, I've been loving these articles that talk about how they can't get more of these IMAX machines that run the 70 millimeter because they just don't make them anymore. And yada, yada, yada. We can't fix them. We got to get... Lou, did we forget how to reverse engineer things? Like, what is going on here that they can't take it apart and say, oh, this is how we made it. Let's do that again.
They could, but it's just a question of for what? Everybody, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but apparently the film, and remember, we're not talking reels and everything because it's like, there's no reels. It sits on platters, and the projectionists have to put it together themselves, reel by reel. The film print for this movie weighs 550 pounds. So compared to a digital projection system, that just is never going to fly. So
right.
I'm glad that Nolan is a stickler in his own way, but there's no point.
Lou, later tonight, we're going to talk about that because I wonder if Hollywood will start trying this. I don't know that it works, but this thing's selling the same number of tickets as Superman from last year. That was a disappointment. The ticket prices are really elevated, so the box office numbers look great, and they are great, but it's the rise in ticket prices that is driving this thing to be such a fantastic performer. I'm not taking that away from anybody. I'm just saying, like, maybe this is the way forward for the blockbusters is
just
get us some
IMAX.
IMAX.
IMAX gets their cut off the top on both ends for making it in IMAX and for projecting it in IMAX. So that's all got to come off the top before anybody starts splitting up what's left.
We need to find out what that amount is. That's really going to matter.
12% for the theater end.
So, wait a minute, because you're telling me something I'm learning.
If the theater sells $100,000 worth of tickets, 12% of that goes to IMAX before they ever start splitting with anybody else.
Wiz, did you know this? Wiz is frozen in anticipation of what's going to come next.
12%, and I forget what the percentage is on the other end, too. Yeah.
Wiz,
I think my audio is still coming through, though.
You're frozen? The audio is coming through? Let's do a quick check to see how late you're delayed. Wiz, give me a response in 1, 2, 3.
He's nonplussed.
Wow, now that's a delay. All right, Wiz, we'll bring you back in just a few.
It's a very Jack Benny take he's got on his face in that frozen frame.
Hang on, I think he might be... No, still frozen. All right, we'll get Wiz back in just a minute, folks.
Anyway,
hang tight.
It's 12%.
Well, that's going to change our break even we've been talking about.
Oh, you better believe it. You better believe it.
Okay. All right. I'm going to talk to Odin and Valiant Renegade and see if they know this and get this fixed on our projections. All right. DL Racer for 5. I'll be darned. Over 200 viewers before production even goes on air. Talking about the pro show, folks. We're at 600 right now, and that's even with the technical difficulties we just suffered. Thank you, and hello to all 600 out there joining us right now. Snarky Distinct Nugget, a, shall we say, VIP around these parts for $5 watching Masters of the Universe. They sure made an idiot weak chump of He-Man. Glad I didn't go to theater for it. It's a waste. I hate it. Yeah, and Supergirl Mando coming out real fast as well. Snarky, if you didn't see our interview with Robert Lamb, writer on the original He-Man cartoon, go check it out. We talk about it, and I think you'll find some serious insights there. We've got Patrick Getaway for 5. Next thing, the snail will be at the Chiefs season opener. Wonderful. Oh, what are you trying to say about the Chiefs? Slow and stubborn wins the race. Paul 12,000 for 2. Trained by the fastest snail in the world. Turbo. Listen, I already told the story about the little girl who tried to write Turbo on her arm. playing in a soccer game, and her dad, a real story, this just happened. Her dad did not see that she had written on both arms, Turbo. Her mother did not see that she had written in big letters. Now, she's a little kid, right? There's just one problem. She's learning the alphabet, Lou. She flipped the B around. She was running out there with Turdo on her arms. So, real story. Turdo Supremo.
You're trying to say she needs to get her blank together, are you?
I think so.
Okay. All right. Well.
Packing protons for 5. I've been told a packing protons imposter has been spotted at a fake whiz panel. What sort of magic is this? We'll find out soon. Poor Wiz, he's been kicked off the screen. We'll get him back in a few. Ryan Charlton has gifted 250 gems, which we say is an MVP. Ryan Charlton also sends in for 5 months. Evening panel, chat, and mods. Good to see you out there. Blah, 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 blah for 5. If you have seen any compare of the 70mm versus regular film, it is 2 entirely different movies. The problem is there's only 25 theaters in the nation showing it in 70mm. So good luck seeing the entirely different film. We got Packing Protons for 2. Jimothy! Wait, that's not that song. I met a Jimothy before. Wolf of McGruffle, the 3rd for 2. Crime Dog, Wizard's Delay was longer than the Caro song. Oh, the meta jokes are here.
This is my Carol song. It is 8 seconds long.
666 King Drama for 10. Valiant Renegade did a full breakdown of the Odyssey Money Breakdown. Nolan alone is getting 20%. And the further down you go, it makes it more and more unlikely this movie will break even. We've said 750 here. I might have to adjust it. My prediction for the box office, Lou, is it's going to get somewhere around 8 to 850. I think that's true now that we're seeing the Monday and Tuesday be so strong. Second weekend looking good. But again, under the hood, this is all being driven by really large average movie ticket prices, not by huge audience numbers, because it's primarily at IMAX and the regular theaters are a little bit empty.
Well, he said he's going to take 3 years off to rest up. So he'll be able to afford it. Let's put it that way.
DL Racer for 10. Weirdly enough. Oh, did you seriously say that word here?
Yeah. Weird.
Weirdly enough, we are the title sponsor for the Kansas City Chiefs. There is a possibility of having the team attend a potential fundraiser for Snouts to be live streamed if it comes to be. Wow. Talk about knowing people in high places. Way to go, DL Racer. Very cool. One magical spark, member for 2 months. Next time you talk to Ron, ask him about his drink. Whoa. Now, wait a minute. We got to know which Ron. Ron Coleman, Ron Bradley. Which Ron we going? Which Ronathan are we talking about? And then, folks, the...
today Ron Bradley was at Epcot.
Oh,
and
really?
He was in the Mitsukoshi store in the Japan pavilion, and sitting on a shelf amongst all the candy and those, what do they call it, poke sticks, was somebody's leftover drink. And I forget who gave him a $50 super chat if he would drink it. And he did.
Oh.
I wouldn't do that.
Oh.
So let's not talk about drinks and Ron. Huh?
Ron did that? Oh, my.
Yes.
He's going to take on LA Beast. That's what that's his next channel.
Find some lettuce so that he could purge his system accordingly, whatever might have been in that thing. But
got to get his bearings straight.
All
right, folks, our bearings are straight because you all have been so generous. It is incredible. Mr. Dak is dropping 10 WDW Pro memberships. Thank you so much, Mr. Dak. You know what? We'll play a clip for every single one of you guys.
Please, sir, may I have more pro memberships?
What?
God bless us, everyone!
We've got 10 from the Bad News Badger stopping on by and saying hi. Oh, look, it changed. Click the button, things happen. You know what I mean? Bad News Badger, thank you too. We appreciate the gifted memberships. Patrick Inouye stops by. He's no Henry Cavill, but he might just be our Superman.
Chemical sunshine, professor says pay no mind.
And finally, folks, they call him Fitty D, and the name fits indeed. Why? because Teddy has dropped on by and made 50 of you folks out there go from gray to green. Teddy D, you're our hero.
Oh, here we go. It's time to party. It's time to live it up.
Perfect.
We've got Ryan Charlton, another for 5. Wiz, did you get hit with Petrificus totalis?
Yeah, they got me. They got me bad. But there's a remedy for that.
There's a cream, I believe, in the pharmaceutical aisle.
Yeah.
Penicillin, and it's got to be quick.
It's going to sting. It's going to sting. Finally, our last one before we hit the first story of the night. Packing Protons for 5. Next, Packing Protons clone appearance at a panel cost $10 per clone. Do you know what's going on here, Wiz? Packing Proton says that somebody impersonated him at Southeast Game Exchange. I did not know about this.
There's a lot of people there.
A lot of stuff happening. A lot of stuff going down, folks. All right, what's going down? Well, the number of jobs at Disney, let's talk about it. It's a bloodbath. That's what they're saying over at the House of Mouse. Whoa, Nelly. Disney just decimated the staff at one of their most successful studios. Wait a minute. Look out for narratives. The collapse is here. Variety reporting this. Todd Spangler. Pixar bears the brunt of Disney studio layoffs as company axes several hundred staffers. Wait a minute. The studio that brought you Toy Story 5, the studio that they said delivered the greatest new IP in the history of mankind and womankind, Hoppers. You're telling me that this is the studio that they're axing? What is happening here? Pixar Animation Studios, it says, despite riding high on the success of summer blockbuster Toy Story 5, was hit particularly hard in a wave of company-wide layoffs Tuesday at Disney. A Disney spokesperson confirmed that the media conglomerate is cutting several hundred jobs across certain corporate functions. Those include ESPN, NFL Network, Disney Entertainment Television, well, just basically everywhere that Dana Walden runs. Oh, and Nat Geo too. But guess who took the hardest hit? It was, in fact, Pixar. Disney in April cut about 1,000 employees in marketing functions across Disney Studios, just as soon as new Disney CEO Josh D'Amaro took over. The job cuts now at Pixar are concentrated in production and operations. A source familiar with the layoffs said the changes reflect Pixar's evolving needs related to production volume in the projects that are in process at the studio. Does that mean there are less? More broadly, Walt Disney Studios has evolved its production strategy over the past 3 years to reduce overall volume and prioritize quality. That means there's less. With a focus on theatrical releases that feed into the company's broader entertainment ecosystem, with less produced directly for streaming. That means there's less. Okay, so panel, before we talk about this, Disney's Toy Story 5 is exactly where I said it would be, and I mean exactly. I said it was going to limp over the $1 billion mark if it could make it, but in order to do so, it's got to get the domestic to 450. Where are we at right now? 434, and that means it's 40 million short of the total worldwide. If it gets to 450 domestic, it will limp over the $1 billion mark. And I think it will. I think it will just barely itsy bitsy crawl over as this thing has flatlined. But it's going to do it. It's going to do it. It's going to barely break $1 billion because Minions was such a lackluster entry. Now, all of that said, panel, I want to talk to you guys because I don't know how the media is going to spin this, Wiz. They just had Toy Story 5. Disney's supposed to be this magical, happy place where all they do is the right stuff. They, they're laying people off. They give them pink slips. Josh D'Amaro is now known more for firing people than anything else as CEO of the company. And I don't know how they're going to keep the media happy with them this way.
Yeah, I don't know how this is going to play out positively. It seems like, we had Hoppers was a stinker. We had Moana was a stinker. We've got the upcoming Avengers Doomsday. We don't know where that's going to land. Disney and 20th Century Fox have a couple of other films that are going to be dropping this year. We really don't know where they're going to land, but it seems like there is kind of a pinch, a contraction happening inside of the Mouse House as far as employment is concerned. Toy Story 5, I think it's going to pass the $1 billion, but
sure,
clearly that's not enough. Josh D'Amaro, when he was his inaugural shareholders conference, he said We're going to keep making IPs inside of old IPs, which means that they're
spinoffs.
It's the spin-offs.
Yeah.
Spin-offification. And when we look at something like Hoppers was a completely original idea, which completely tanked. We have upcoming, there's that movie Gato, which is going to be about the cats.
Mark Ruffalo, the star. Everybody loves a good Mark Ruffalo. Oh, wait.
Right. That's right. I think that's it's a big problem. Pixar has a serious problem when it comes to new IP. A lot of people have blamed that on Disney Plus. I don't think that that's necessarily the case. I think they've just been releasing things that are not as good as they need to be to get butts in seats. People just don't care. But you look at Toy Story, everybody feels safe on Toy Story. Toy Story is a safe brand. It hasn't necessarily been as ruined as some of the other major franchises are. Pixar, with the legacy Pixar, they're safe enough to take the family to. When you look at all this new stuff, you look at Elementals, you look at Hoppers, and you're like, am I okay taking my kids to that? Because I don't really trust it.
Is it fair to say, though, that if they make $1 billion off a movie and they still get hit with massive layoffs, I mean, they're taking the brunt of this. Out of all the layoffs, Pixar is taking the hardest.
You see, the problem with an announcement like this is it says more than they want it to say. Go back to that article and go down to the last paragraph.
Last paragraph. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. All the way down to the bottom.
Okay.
It says, though Pixar sequels, including 2020. This the one?
Let's see. They said, no, let's see. It's probably before that. But anyway, somewhere in there, here, this is it. He says, reduce overall volume and prioritize quality. What that says is before we were emphasizing volume and deprioritizing quality.
Right, which they would never admit.
You have to look at the flip side of every statement like this. It's like, I remember years ago, who was it? It was, I'll think of it another time. But it was a comedian talking about how he got canceled because he commented on the commercial for Samsonite luggage. Remember the one where they threw the Samsonite luggage out of the airplane and it landed and it hit? And they came back to him and he said, what that commercial is telling you is the safest place to fly is inside your luggage.
Right.
You have to look at the what you're really saying when you say these things. And what they're saying is, before we were just making a bunch of crap. Now we're going to try and make it good. Oh, really?
Well, let me tell you guys.
Really?
Let me tell you what I think's happening here, because we predicted this. And so because we predicted this, I think we're owed a little bit of an opportunity to color in why this might be happening. So you guys tell me what you think about it. We predicted that this year and next year, animation studios are going to be completely transformed, and you're going to see massive job losses because eventually the corporations are going to give in to this AI movement. Now, I'm going to play this one more time, and I want to get both of your thoughts on it because I don't know if you guys have seen this, and I don't know if the audience has seen it yet, so I need to play it. We've played it once before on the show. Josh Dawes, Disney genius. Disney fired him in the last round. Okay, we're talking about a new round of layoffs, the ones that came before this when Josh D'Amaro took over. Josh Dawes, a true Disney genius, employee at the company, total genius, included in the firings. And he started rolling out these Adventures of Mary Sue on X. He's starting his own cartoon. And it's beautiful. And he's doing it with AI. Now, I'm not going to take a position, good or bad, on AI. What I am going to do, though, is I'm going to tell you, as we get ready to watch this, Josh Dawes is making these things as a one-person company in a couple of days, sometimes a week, depending on how busy he is. It can be 2 weeks. But he's doing these, multi-minute shorts in a short amount of time as one guy. Here, we'll play it.
Can you help us with this? We need to pick up some supplies.
We're on a quest.
Oh, give me 1 second, dearies. Hands are full at the moment.
Now, we're not going to play the whole thing. I just need to see the quality. I mean, the cartoon girl with the purple hair has little freckles on her face. It's so clear. And the whole thing is that she doesn't like kids because she's a Mary Sue, right? I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. Again, folks, go watch the whole thing on Josh Dawes X. This is going to have a point for Pixar. I promise. Stay with me. Here's the what would you say? The switch in the story, the lesson that's learned, the ethos, the morale that you find out.
Here, dearie. Watch Angus while I gather your supplies.
Ram?
And she falls in love with the kid and plays with the kid and learns that the whole thing that you should do is, that sort of thing. It's a nice little lesson. Here's the bottom line. Lou, I believe partly, why they're doing these layoffs might be because if one guy can do this, this is better than anything Disney is doing. And if one guy can do that, they're screwed in 12 months. I mean, there's nothing stopping Josh Dawes except time and money, and he might have the backing real soon to do so. I hope he does. There's nothing stopping him and other geniuses from releasing stuff like this in full theatrical form.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder. Josh started doing this after getting laid off by Disney, as I understand it.
That's right.
So those people that are getting laid off today from Pixar, what are they going to be doing for the next 4 or 5 years but competing with their former employers?
I totally agree. Let's bring in another panelist who'd like to weigh in real quick. Kevin Apollo is here with us. Kevin, how are you, buddy?
Guys, how has everybody been? It's been so long. I missed everyone.
Yes.
Kevin, we're just thrilled to have you and Wiz with us right now. Kevin, your thoughts on the idea that perhaps, if somebody could make this kind of stuff, this honestly, I'm watching this in very high definition. This is beautifully animated. Kevin, if one guy can do this, the animation studios are toast. Good or bad, they're still toast.
Yes, listen, I feel bad for the studios because of the people that are employed by them, but I think this is great news. I've been waiting for this moment since Paramount crushed NXR because you have to wrestle some creative control back away from these studios and create an environment where talented people can showcase their abilities. We've been stuck in this quagmire of nonsense messaging and really under-talented people being rewarded for just doing what they're told. And listen, for one person to do something like this by themselves on a very limited budget, and at the end of the day delivers a nice wholesome message, I'm all for it. The competition breeds excellence.
Absolutely. Wiz, do you agree that this is partly why they might be doing the layoffs? And also, Wiz, do you find it fascinating at all that, when we watch trailers from Disney, a lot of times when I click on a thing, and I'm just going to leave it here. That's just the best. When I click on these things, still frame, sometimes it doesn't look that great. Every time I click on a frame, it's a thing of art. I can't help it that it came from AI. It came from Josh Dawes' mind first. Wiz, what is happening here? And is it possible that this is why the layoffs are coming?
I that could definitely be part of it for sure. I wish we had more proof of evidence that that's exactly it. However, I want to point to the Will Smith spaghetti video.
Huh.
Remember that? Remember the spaghetti video? Now compare that to where we are today.
Oh yeah,
and how much more refined everything is, how sophisticated AI has become. Like what you just watched is look, that is a frame from an AI clip that is nearly 2.5 minutes of an AI short film.
And he made it in 2 weeks. By the way, this is the big guy who wants to hold the baby, and she's like, no, because she's just completely changed her mind. But Wiz, if he can make this as one guy in a couple of days, why can't he make a movie? And then why can't that beat Pixar for
the tools are getting there?
1/100th the cost.
It's only a matter of time. I mean, my gosh, even myself, I'm able to make silly videos now without hardly even trying. I mean, even right here.
What are you doing to me here? What is this?
In real time.
No, that's real.
It's it doesn't look like AI. Absolutely, it looks like AI. But
you should make a video game. Whoa, Bowser, get out of here, Bowser. Oh, got scary.
In just 3 years, how far this technology has come is insane.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And
if I could add a point,
please.
Technology is brilliant and spectacular, but without a talented storyteller and artist to use it, it's nothing.
That's right.
And I mean, look, we can say everything we can say about Lasseter, but as much as Pixar pioneered technology in its own way, it was his storytelling ability and his sense of heart and soul and people you cared about that made those films great. So it doesn't, the tools are the tools, the artist is the artist. We have great tools, so now the artist can do it cheaper and better and quicker. But it's still about storytelling, and it's still about characters, and it's still about people you give a damn and want to watch.
It's still about people. And as long as it's about people, then I think we can do something with this. Lou, as you were saying that, I was thinking about like oil painting, right?
Right.
99.9% of the people, you give them oil paint and brushes, and they can't do anything. But man, there is a tiny number of humans on the planet that you give that to them, and they do something special. And I think this might be the same thing.
Well,
and
but
frankly,
and that takes physical dexterity that this doesn't necessarily require.
right. But frankly, I think that I think I'm ready for Hollywood to face the music, because unfortunately, Hollywood has chosen to play a different song than the market wants. So let's get some folks out there who can do some stuff with the new tech. I only regret that there are people losing their jobs who are good people, because there's no doubt in my mind that Disney did not work hard to find the wokies and the anti-meritocracy folks. No, they probably just fired everybody who cost them too darn much. Folks, we never forget that we only do what we do because of you. There we go. This is better. Swapping around a little bit. Kevin Apollo, you hold up that top row for me, okay? Folks, we never forget that we do what we do because of you. The dream to stream comes true when you tune in. And so we go back to you again. Superstars of the show, Eric Stratton for 10. Cause and effect diagram is a graphical method to analyze and display causal chains and interactions. It could be used for movie analysis and then display on stream in cool graphical manner. Eric, this was brought up the other day, and I made a joke about it. I hope it didn't offend you, but I made a joke that cause and effect diagram might be the worst name of a movie ever. But as a method to analyze, well, now that's a different story. Eric, thank you for sending it in. I hope I didn't offend you with the joke we did the other time. Cody Duffy is out there becoming a YouTube member. Welcome aboard, Cody Duffy. Can't wait to bring you member-exclusive content tomorrow. Paggy Brotons for 5. Apparently, according to Ron, I donated $2 for a Wilton coin. Color me confusified. I don't know. Don't know who that guy was. Didn't see it happen. Don't know. But I know this Cody Duffy is dropping 6 gems and giving us the chili. Patrick Anaway is dropping $5 and says Disney needs to aim the layoffs where they actually belong. In the C-suite. It's a little bit of a sweet spot for them.
The people doing the layoffs are the C-suite, and they're not going to lay themselves off. Come on. It's just not,
That's right.
I have decided, ladies and gentlemen of this vast corporation, that in order to make things better, I will commit corporate suicide and walk away. It doesn't happen. It just never happens.
In order to make things better around here, I'm going to give up my golden parachute. Here, you take it. No.
Yeah.
Cody Duffy for 199. Power to the Niners. Kevin! Hey, Kevin, I think you're popular.
It's nice to be back, guys. I missed everybody.
It's good to have you back. Thomas Soul photo behind you. Lovely.
Can we be honest? It's the damn shoulders. They're not so sure about, but the shoulders they like. What can I say?
Oh, yeah, Kevin is back. He's going to hold the show up for us. Paggy Protest for 5 finally got an AI short with InVideo done. Tagged you in it as YouTube safe. All right, cool. We'll check it out. And Rubate for 2. Hollywood and Disney are the next blockbuster. Maybe, except that Disney owns physical property and Disney World keeps them safe. The Mom has dropped at 10 gems and a GG. Well, good game to you as well. GGWP. All right, folks, we're going to dive into the next story. And don't go anywhere, because after this story, we've got Kongmin Lee joining us to talk about the Odyssey and all the crazy there. But before we go there, what if I told you that California has gone so commie crazy that now Europe is calling this one and saying, wait a minute, you've gone too far. Can you believe it? We'll tell it to you. We'll show it to you right now. It's hard to believe, but commie California has moved farther to the left than Europe. The EU is now approving the sale of Warner Brothers Discovery, which includes, by the way, CNN, to Paramount, even as California tries to stop the deal. Ted Johnson writing this when a deadline, Paramount seeks 3-day evidentiary hearing as judge considers preliminary injunction to halt Warner Brothers Discovery merger. Now, that's a lot of words, and that's really deep vocabulary, a vernacular you might not hear every day, but I'll tell you what it means. It means that there's a judge out there who said, no, you're not going to buy the thing, and we're going to delay this. And if they delay it too long, what's going to happen is Paramount's going to be the hook for a lot of money. It says Paramount is proposing that a federal judge hold a 3-day evidentiary hearing later in August. It says U.S. District Judge Araceli Martinez-Olguin issued a temporary restraining order on Monday, halting the transaction for 2 weeks, while she set a hearing for August 3rd on a lengthier preliminary injunction. The order was issued in response to an antitrust lawsuit brought by California and 11 other states last week. Now, remember that Paramount was cleared by the U.S. government, which, as I recall, is bigger than California and takes precedent over California. But California doesn't care. This judge doesn't care. The goal here is just to gum up the thing and stick their finger in the eye of Paramount and the Ellisons because they feel they're too far in the middle. Not on the right, but in the middle. Paramount's lawyers wrote that the state AGs, that's attorneys general, are seeking an extraordinary and drastic remedy, a preliminary injunction that would pause the merger for at least 8 months without giving the company an opportunity for a full and fair hearing. That's exactly right. And the whole deal here, again, is to muck up the system and force Paramount to spend incredible amounts of money so that maybe they'll just give up, even though the feds have already cleared this thing. Well, you know, that was one story, and then it got a little bit stickier. Why? Because Reuters is reporting that just hours ago, it turns out Europe, which is not known for being sensible, not known for being the middle, not known for being centrist, that Europe, the EU, Germany, France, and the rest, that they have thrown a wrench in California's plans because, according to Reuters, Paramount secures the EU nod for a $110 billion Warner Brothers deal. The U.S. hurdles are still ahead, it says, but the EU has now approved it. It says Paramount Skydance on Wednesday gained European Union antitrust approval for its $110 billion acquisition of Warner Brothers Discovery after agreeing to ditch a film distribution joint venture with Universal Pictures, which fixed the whole thing. All right, so this, I think, has screwed California even more, but California is screwing itself. Lou, I'll go to you because you are an expert in the industry. Lou, what do you make of this? And my belief is this is going through now. There's no way to stop it. All California is doing is causing the Ellisons and other Hollywood companies to say, get out of Dodge, leave this place. It's Detroit 2.0.
It's virtue signaling of the nth degree. It's, see, we're going to stand up to those evil capitalist SOBs, you know, the ones that employ you all and that are talking about taking the jobs and going somewhere else. As if there weren't enough people making good incomes walking away from California, running away from California already. And all the other states involved in this are of the same ilk, Oregon and Washington, and I forget who else. You got to remember this thing at the end. If this thing goes past a certain date, Paramount has to pay a big amount of money, and they will. They'll just do it. That's Paramount, by the way. Right.
Would you say that California now is just trying to push them past that point because they just want to hurt them?
I just think they're just showing off for their friends. They're just saying, see, honest, we're the good guys. We're the true believers. And remember that California is, by and large, a Democratic majority state, and that the Democratic Party, I know we don't get political, but it's a reality fact of life, has gone entirely over to these radical DSA people. And candidates for future election have to prove that they're the good guys, that they're on the side of truth and virtue and socialism, or else they're going to get overthrown. And it's, you know, it's not Schumer and Pelosi's party anymore. It's Mamdami's and AOC's.
Well, let's talk about that because that's a good point. We don't like to talk about politics, but when it intersects with entertainment, we're forced to do so. Kevin, I think Lou makes a great point. California now and New York seem to be more and more under the control of, as he said, the DSA. We're talking about the Democratic Socialists of America. And that name sounds like, maybe it's benign, but behind it, I think, is flat out communism. And at this rate, Kevin, we're seeing it. Yeah, we're seeing an exodus out of New York. There was just a report about how many millionaires have left. We're seeing it out of California. There's no reason now for Paramount, Skydance, Warner Brothers, Discovery, CNN, this giant company that rivals Disney when all is said and done. There is no reason for them to stay in California. In fact, there is every reason to leave California, Kevin.
Absolutely. Listen, don't be shocked if we find out that they're going to Tennessee or Georgia. Because why would you stay in California? Why would you stay in New York? Why would you stay in New Jersey? Why would you go anywhere near Washington or Oregon at this point? The psychopaths don't just run the asylum. They've fortified it and made sure that every ounce of goo and muck and filth that fills it is spilling out into your water, and you can't get away from it. Listen, at the end of the day, we know what this really is. But like Lou said, this is the true believers throwing a virtue signal temper tantrum to gum up the works simply because the Ellisons were favorable to the Orange Man and want things to run down the middle, and it ruins the monopoly on leftist agenda and gobbledygook. And listen, we can laugh and say that it isn't Schumer's or Pelosi's party anymore, but at the end of the day, I don't mourn the arson who gets burned in their own fire. These are the people who went to our schools and turned our universities into communist training camps. They are upset now because the glamour has been shattered. The veneer is off. They can't hide in plain sight because the spoiled, petulant children are telling everybody what we already know. This is really what they want to do. This is about seizing power, and they can't hold on to power if they can't lie to you directly into your face. And now they made a great big old mess, and hopefully this will blow up in their face too. But it's kind of embarrassing, and it's obvious what's actually happening here.
Right. You've got the United States approving it. You've got Europe, of all places, approving it. But California says no. You're not going to do it. Wiz, what does it say about the state of the two places that used to make all of our entertainment, California, New York, that they are now actually farther left than the EU?
It's possible. Like that's the reality we're living in, where these are these states have the policies are so wild that business can't operate. We're not even talking about just Hollywood anymore. Like it's just business can't operate there. The cost of doing commerce in these states is so absurd. It is so obscene. And here's another thing. And I really like, Kevin pointed out, don't be surprised if they go to Tennessee. Don't be surprised if they go to Georgia. The problem is these states have worked in tax clauses that even if you move, even if you relocate, there are still ways that like a parasite leaching into your organization, you still owe taxes to that previous state you were in for X amount of years, depending on the circumstances that may be. If you have even one employee that still has residency in one of those states, you may have to pay out quite a bit large sum of money to conduct business in that state. They are finding ways, and this is crossing over. This is not just taxes on businesses. They're also figuring out ways. We're seeing this in New York right now. They are figuring out ways to trap you there that you think you may be able to escape. Well, all right, well, you're going to lose a lot more running away than you would if you just stayed where you are. There, you cannot leave because they know people want to leave. But if you all leave, then they lose all the power. So you can't go. They must find ways to trap people there. And it's getting scary. It's getting scary because it's getting real. This isn't speculation anymore.
A big part of it is when you leave, you bring the tax base away from there with you, and therefore they don't have the money to do what they want to do. Victor Davis Hanson, who is my favorite, perhaps, of all political social commentators, made the point in a speech just yesterday, I guess it was. He said the average DSA person in New York or wherever is a 30-something with a college degree, and they're making 50, 60 grand a year, and they can't afford to live in New York or wherever because they got a degree in some totally BS subject that doesn't give them a job. And so these are people of envy who feel like the world has cheated them out of what they're entitled to. Hell hath no fury like a person who's got a grudge, you know. As far as businesses, look, we've just saw, which was it? True Value Hardware moved out of California. We've seen insurance companies say, well, then we're just not going to sell policies in that state anymore. We've seen oil companies leave. So what happens if all of this goes and they pay the price and they leave and they pay the fines or the taxes or whatever, and they say, well, if you show movies in our state, you're still going to pay us. And they say, okay, well, listen, AMC, you know, all those theaters you've got in California, sorry, you're not going to get our product anymore.
Yeah. The craziest thing we've seen so far out of this, just so people understand the consequences, is, you know, Washington State, which joined in on this with California. Washington State has essentially two companies that when you think of Washington State, you think of these two companies, like they're the big ones. One of them is Starbucks. Starbucks, that you would think would never, ever, ever leave Seattle. I mean, that's Starbucks in Seattle is like peas and carrots, to cite a certain someone who sat on a bench one time. Well, guess what? Starbucks got up and left and went to Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Why would Paramount not do the same thing? And so I want to go back to Wiz real quick. Wiz, you were talking about this idea that like barnacles, they stick to you now. They're trying to create these systems where you can't leave. Wiz, walk us through. Do you know about the deal in New York where they were trying that? What was that, and how did that play out?
They're still it's actively happening now. It's like still being discussed. This estate situation where your house will, if you're living there, depending on if you like your terms of residency, when you leave, you still have to pay taxes as if you were living there up to X amount of years. Now, the reason I know that this is real is because I have felt this personally with my own company. So it's only a matter of time that they would, you know, something that is already set for businesses, they would then play out for just regular taxpayers too. And that's something out of New York. I mean, it is insane. And it's not even New York City. This is at the state level. So we're seeing this at state levels, not just Hollywood or Los Angeles. This would
California
be at the governor
has been doing this, by the way, a long time before people realized it. I once, actually more than once, bought an automobile in Kansas City from eBay. I found a guy selling a car I wanted. And so I flew out there. I got the car. I registered it. I drove it back. And when I came across the border into California to go to the DMV to register it in California, they charged me tax on the transaction of buying it. In other words, the state of California was taxing a transaction that took place, 2,000 miles away. How do they get away with that? If you or I tried to do that, they'd call it extortion. But they got away with it. So they, what's mine is mine, and what's theirs is yours is mine, and everything is theirs. You know, this whole thing about you won't own anything and you'll like it. Well, like it or not, that's their goal, to have you not own anything. They do, or they control it so much that the value of ownership is diluted to nothing.
And the people out there in the chat who are going, well, why didn't this happen with Disney? Well, it's because it's simple. It's rules for thee and not for me.
Hold on a second, Kevin. Hold on. I don't mean to interrupt you. California just gave Disney tens of millions of dollars out of their slush fund that was supposed to save entertainment. And they said, oh, well, you know what? Actually, Disney, you carry our political water all the time. So here's $14 million. Here's $20 million for your animated movie Hexed that you're going to make no matter what. But here's free money. They love Disney, Kevin. They love Disney because Disney does what they want them to do, which is spread their politics.
Yep, that's it. You spread the message, you get rewarded. If you don't play along, you get crushed. It's rules for radicals 101. And unfortunately, that's kind of where we have been for the better part of 20 years. It just now it's so brazen, and just it has infected every aspect of our culture that you have to have these discussions. This was a long time brewing, and yes, New York State. New York, the governor that no one voted for, she is hell bent on racing Mondavi to the commie to the commie deep end of the pool, and is actually openly defiant if you dare want to leave the state. So it's only going to be a matter of time before it gets worse. I don't know if I just don't know if people can hold out until this has to get battled out in the Supreme Court. And there's never any real guarantee that it's going to go the way it should, because none of this should be even remotely constitutional.
I'll tell you, the losers in all of this, Californians, because we are not long from the point where California and New York, but California especially, are no longer where entertainment comes from. We are not far from that leaving the state and that state being left with nothing.
And remember, if any of you, forget about entertainment, if any of you have ever lived in or known people who lived in what's called a company town, it's not just the company. Everybody who's working at these studios who might move, they've got a dry cleaner. They've got a local corner store they go to. They've got all kinds of businesses that rely on them being there to be customers, who are going to have a big chunk of their customers disappear.
An entire ecosystem, entire ecosystems being crashed by California, determined to stop what has already been approved by the U.S. and the EU. And that means it's going through. All California is doing now is punishing their own taxpayers while claiming they're virtue signaling to the bank. And like a smoke bomb, he's gone. Fake Quiz had to hop off real fast, folks. I was very pleased that we even were able to pull that off. He was having huge technical difficulties. You all saw he came in and out. So good job, and kudos to Wiz for making that last as long as it did and keeping the lights on. Hopefully gets his technical difficulties fixed out. Cogman Lee is joining us in just a few, folks. Hang tight. We'll get him on the stage. But first, how about the real superstars? It's you. We've got Douglas Nutt for 2. Is this the A team? I think Lou is the A team. I think I'm the B team.
We're easier to find. You know, that whole thing of if you can find them. Well, we're easy to find.
That's right. Kevin's lifting us up, though. On shoulders broad. Teddy D is out there, member for 16 months. Pro, just wanted to tell you how much I enjoyed your interview with Stay on Target.
Me too. I watched it. It was great.
Well, we're going to have the Stay on Target guys and girls hop over here. They may not know that. They may be listening live, but I've told I just said that without letting them know first, eh? Kara is going to be reaching out to them to see if we can get them on the stage soon. And I know that Lord and Apollo would love to have them as well. So, yeah. Hey, by the way, Kev, people are missing the Lord and Apollo show. Lord has been traveling this week, and you were ill for a wee bit, which seems difficult to believe. I would pity the virus that attacks you. But anyway, folks, it's coming back, and we'll get Stay on Target there. But that was a fun show. That was a great show. All right, we've got Patrick Getaway dropping in for 5. Paging Ron Coleman. Since it's in the federal court system, could Paramount Skydance do an emergency run to the Supreme Court for relief from the injunction? I don't think it can do a quick run.
It's because it's technically they have to have the hearing first,
right?
And have a result that then can be appealed to a higher court, I believe.
Yeah.
Have standing in the Supremes.
But I'll be on. I'm not going to predict it goes to the Supreme Court, but I think that it may take the threat of the Supreme Court to get it to go away and to get this thing through.
Well, let's look at a
Scopes.
similar case. Earlier this week, or the end of last week, Mamdani said he's going to arrest Bibi Netanyahu.
Oh, yeah.
And now he says, we looked it up, and legally we can't do that. But we should. But we can't. But we should. But we can't.
Turns out the mayor of a city cannot arrest a head of state. Who'd have thought that?
This is the ravages of not teaching our kids civics in school anymore.
Yeah.
You can pull garbage like this, and they think it's okay because they just don't know any better.
Well, they know. They knew. They want to say that they didn't, and they had to look it up. They knew the whole time. And Mamdani knows the minute he tries to arrest a head of state, he himself will be hauled out of there behind bars because that's crazy.
Oh, I don't mean them. I mean, tweet it out and like share.
10-4. Gotcha. Understand.
Remember, 99% of everything is virtue signaling with these people.
Paging the Eggles. California has become Hotel California.
Which, for those who do not know was the state insane asylum. That's what the Hotel California was, and that's why you could check in, but you could never leave.
What a crazy place. I know that's not the lyrics. Wolf of the Crime Dog McGruffle for 5. I blame Jonas's air conditioning. Well, we could use some air conditioning at the Southeast Game Exchange. It was a lovely time, except for Saturday afternoon when the AC gave out. And it was the same temperature on the inside as it was out. And boy, oh boy, it was HOT.
And in a room full of fans. What a surprise.
What a surprise. What a surprise. All right, ladies and gentlemen, continue right along. We've got Jan Monroe out there dropping 250 gems with a laughing disco. Thank you so much. And finally, Bad News Badger, 100 crowns. This is not just a state thing. If you, as an American citizen, move to a different company or different country, you still need to, as one of only 2 nationalities, file your taxes back to the U.S. Tax Department. Well, so I get, I wouldn't say it's the same thing. So if you're a U.S. citizen, you pay U.S. taxes. There's no way out of that. If you leave California, though, you're never a citizen. I don't think you're a resident, but you're not a citizen of a state.
No,
so because because you're a resident, once you leave your residency of the state should have no authority lest you re-enter into its borders to tax you. So, but that'll be figured out by courts. And
case in point, when I moved to Tennessee from Los Angeles, and went into the local DMV here, and walked in with my California license plates, and said, "Do you want these?" And they said, "We don't care. You want to send them back? Fine. We don't care." And it cost me $27 to register the car that I'd been paying $475 to register in California. But months later, when those expired, there was no reason for me to notify them I've moved, forget it. But I got nasty letters from the DMV in California. "Hey, you haven't registered your car and we're going to fine you." And I thought, go fish. And of course,
right. What are you going to do? Extradite me, California?
But all I'm saying is the difference in attitude.
Right.
And
I'm with you.
Surprise, people are moving where they don't hassle you. The greatest line, I think it was, what was his name? The former governor of Texas. Anyway, he said the biggest object of government should be to make you think about them as little as possible.
Boy, wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Snarky Distinct Nuggets out there for 549 on Saturday normally, so no show. So now you know. Happy birthday to me.
Wow, 49.
Yes.
Congratulations.
A spring chick, that Snarky, I say.
Happy birthday. Yeah.
You know what I think a spring chick such as Snarky needs? Maybe something like this.
The crab people shall finally reign supreme.
No, not. How did that get in there? Jonas, stop messing with this stuff. Good grief. That's not what you need. Snarky, you need, I don't know, some shills.
At least that's what I hear.
Wait, what?
Let's go.
Jabba, right?
Oh no!
It's a Sarlacc.
Star Wars Outlaws pre-order available now.
Guys, this is one of, if not my most anticipated game of the year. Anything that's got me going pew, 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 sign me up.
I gotta say, the concept of this is enough for me to go, I might even pre-order this.
Kevin, can you do what you did behind the scenes, Kevin, real quick? Can you? And then you gotta go.
I have to say, as somebody who's been online since acoustic modems, where you shoved your telephone into 2 suction cups, of all the pieces of equipment that I thought people would need to go online, eyebrow pencil was not among them. But lo and behold,
who knew? Who knew? Hey, who knew? All right, we've got Paul 12,000 out there for 5. When Lorne is gone, the pro and gang will play. On that game place, folks should join us for loads of fun and an occasional new game with Marv. That's right, that game place is running many days a week. And by the way, probably going to be playing tomorrow night. Come join along with us, folks. It's always fun when we have Steve and Marv playing Fortnite or Mario Kart or some new game You never know. Pastor of Muppets has dropped 1,000 gems. 1,000,000. And why? He did it all for the corgi. The corgi. Folks, look at this right here. Snarky Distinct Nugget sending us a birthday gift. We'll click the button. Apologies, Kev. You're going to disappear for a minute. We'll bring you back. 3, 2, 1. See, I know this thing. I know how it works now. There we go. Can't make it stop doing the thing, but hey, I know what it will do.
You make me feel like Paul Lind every time you do that.
You mean I make you feel like dancing? No, wrong reference.
The Cinder Square, you know?
You
Hey,
make me feel like
Snarky, seriously.
dancing.
May I offer to you and everybody else out there my ultimate birthday prescription?
Ooh.
No candles, lots of cake.
Candles. Oh,
no
candles.
Lots of cake.
I
That's the
love
secret to
that.
a great birthday.
Every time a membership is gifted, a content creator gets his wings.
Was that gendered language?
We're not at Magic Kingdom, Dad.
All right, Kev, I'm going to give you a job for a minute. I need to message somebody who's supposed to be joining us soon. Kev, would you do me the honor of reading this super chat from 365 Ral?
Oh boy, I don't have my glasses on, so I will do my best. Let's see. Coincidentally, the House of Representatives recently grilled the Smithsonian for saying Mickey Mouse is rooted in,
minstrelsy.
because of what it is, minstrelsy. Also, Lauren mentioned civics, the Smithsonian, and also says being polite is white culture.
Yeah.
This is, oh, good Lord.
Your tax dollars at work. That woman actually runs the Smithsonian's History Museum.
Every time these people open their mouths, it's just the velocity of stupidity cannot be measured.
But they live in a bubble, and nobody ever questions them until now.
No one ever. Yeah, I know. Well, if you try to, you're public enemy number one. It's some kind of internalized misogyny or white supremacy, and you could have Shaka Zulu's complexion, and you're some kind of a white supremacist. I don't know.
I don't know.
It's exhausting.
All right, folks. Well, we're going to get started on the next story. Cogman Lee, we're trying to work on this, figure out what's going on, but Fake Wiz had technical difficulties, had to drop. I'll tell you this, folks. If this was Disney World, they'd go to the E-stop. They'd say, we can't do it, get off the ride. But let me tell you, we're doing just fine. We find a way. Sort of like life in Jurassic Park. There's no stopping us. There's no stopping us now. So this train is rolling.
Maybe now that you're on camera, you should do that little stutter that the Walt Disney figure does now.
What are you talking about? He does a stutter?
Well, that kind of shaky breakdown dance that he does in the carousel, or not in the carousel. He will in the carousel, but in Disneyland.
This is news to me. I've never seen.
I was stopped one day when the little boy asked, "Do you draw Mickey Mouse?"
No! It can't be! What is it? It can't be! What did you do, Ray?
And I had to admit I do not draw anymore.
No more!
Well, then you think up all the jokes and ideas. No, I said I don't do that. Finally, he looked at me and said, "Mr. Disney, just what do you do?" Well, I said, sometimes I think of myself as a little bee.
By the way, I think those were live reactions from Disney World, Disneyland as we speak.
Yes.
Thank you, Lou, for giving me the opportunity to play along and pretend like I didn't know what you were talking about.
Absolutely. I knew you knew. I saw your little fingers saying, "Where's that clip? Where's that clip?"
All right, folks. He's caught on to me. Let's catch on to what's going on in, not Hollywood this time. Actually, Nashville, because that's where the Daily Wire is located.
Oh, yeah.
Folks, we got us a civil war among conservative commentators over The Odyssey. There's a battle royale, a civil war amongst conservatives regarding Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. And as the box office increases, they seem determined to detest one another. What are we talking about? Well, could be leading to the division of the Daily Wire. Forbes is reporting on this. Connor Murray says conservatives battle over whether The Odyssey is biblical or woke. Well, it ain't biblical, I'll tell you that. It says some conservative commentators, led by billionaire Elon Musk, have slammed Christopher Nolan's hit The Odyssey over his choice to hire a diverse cast to bring Homer's epic poem to the screen, but others like Ben Shapiro and Lara Trump are backing Nolan and praising the film. And I'll just say this, I have found it very interesting. Jordan Peterson, Dr. Jordan Peterson has just now started being healthy enough to start posting on X again. He hasn't weighed in on The Odyssey. I hope he doesn't go try to sit through 3 hours of it. I think it would be bad for his health. But his daughter, Michaela, can't stand The Odyssey. She's slamming it. Somebody who he has on very often on his stuff, Jonathan Pajot, loves the thing. So I can't figure out where this is going. Here's what it says. Shapiro, in a post on X Tuesday, said conservative critics who have slammed The Odyssey are missing the biblical forest for the woke trees, suggesting the movie has themes of biblical morality and is a large-scale win for civilizational values. Say what? Dismisses the artist formerly known as Page issue. Dismisses the Lupita Nyong'o issue. Elon Musk, on the other hand, has led the conservative crusade against the movie, calling Nolan racist against the Greek people. You've got Matt Walsh, Shapiro's colleague at the Daily Wire. One might say he is employed by Shapiro, firing off critical tweets about the movie. And I'm going to say this, Walsh is going so far, I'm calling this like they're ready to go to blows over this. They're ready to go to blows. Matt Walsh says, go ahead.
Elon now says he'll put up $100 million to back an AI take that follows the text.
Absolutely.
So he's putting his money where his mouth is.
Matt Walsh says, in Apocalypto, Mel Gibson transports you into the mind of a Mayan 500 years ago. In The Northman, Robert Eggers transports you into the mind of a Viking 1,000 years ago. In The Odyssey, Christopher Nolan transports you into the mind of a liberal woman in 2017. Now, I mean, listen, this is getting, and here's the thing. You've got Walsh rebuffing fans who've called The Odyssey a masterpiece. So coming after Ben Shapiro. Before I go beyond this, I just got to get the thoughts from both of you. Kevin, Lou, people are angry on both sides, angry at each other about this thing. What are your thoughts about this, how this is dividing conservatives?
I think healthy debate is always good, right? It's you need different perspectives, so that you can formulate a well thought out opinion. And sometimes there's just no accounting for bad taste. So, I guess you're entitled to like something even if it's awful. So I say have at it, and everybody just kind of politely debate, because it also showcases how sometimes the right is a little different from the left. You can agree to disagree at some point in time. I do think that this is a spectacular waste of time. Well,
now, wait a minute. Hold on. You mean the argument? You mean the debate that people are having, or do you mean the movie itself is a waste of time?
A little bit of both. I personally think there are larger issues that we should be discussing, and not wasting all this time on Christopher Nolan just following marching orders so that he can make sure he gets another Oscar in the future.
Well, I think partly what's happening, Kevin, is I think that and I don't like to call it the left versus right, because I think this is different. I think this is the woke, and I don't think they're part of the left. I think they've co-opted the left. But I think partly what's driving the conversation is the number of people on the woke side who are celebrating and claiming victory and get out the Mel Pell parades and the confetti because they've won its victory. Hang on a second. Let me go to this for you, okay?
Okay.
Matt Walsh is coming out with a fury and a vigor because Ben Shapiro defends the thing. Now, they work for the same company. In fact, Matt Walsh works for Ben Shapiro.
Right.
Matt Walsh says, don't listen to any conservative who claims the Odyssey isn't woke or that the DEI casting isn't a problem. They're full of it. He is calling out Ben Shapiro. Hang on. Let's play just a brief snippet, and then I'll get Lou's thoughts.
Nolan does not softly coax the audience into the DEI net, easing us into it slowly but surely. No, he cranks the diversity meter up to 1,000 from the very first frame. The first character we see is the rapper Travis Scott, who somehow manages to turn in a bad performance despite appearing on screen for 12 seconds. He got 12 seconds and he completely botched it somehow. And then we see Ellen Page portraying a Greek warrior waddling around the desert like a child with a soiled diaper, straining under her rubber armor, looking like she's about to die even before she gets shot through with arrows. The defenders of this film, especially on the right, have tried to claim that Page's appearance is not a huge problem because she only has a small role. You've probably heard that. It's a very small role.
All right. Before we, I don't want to play the whole thing. I want people to go watch it. But Lou, he's talking about his boss. What do you think about the idea that they're fighting each other?
First of all, it's good for the Daily Wire to have divergent opinions. So
Sure.
cannot cite them as some kind of monolith of the far right the way they normally do. Okay. Secondly, this whole idea that when the Oscars came out and said, well, you have to have a certain amount of representation or else you're not eligible. And I understand I haven't, again, seen the film yet, but I understand that Lupita Nyong'o is in it for like maybe 5 minutes. Well, if they don't get the Oscar, then the Oscars will change their rules and say it has to be at least X% of the time of the screen. They'll do whatever they can do. There's a certain amount of virtue signaling that goes on our side too. So I guess that's some of this.
We're just on the side of truth. We're not on a political side, but I will tell you.
But there's your truth, and there's Matt Walsh's truth, and there's Kevin's truth, and there's my truth, and my dear late grandmother once said, there's 3 sides to every story: your side, my side, and the truth. So, but look, it's a movie, for God's sakes. It's not rocket science.
Okay? Exactly. Okay. Well, let me go to Kongman Lee now, who is talking about what is happening here. And his claim is that conservatives are losing the culture war at this moment because they do not have a cohesive understanding of what this movie is about and what Christopher Nolan's about. And so what he's arguing, what I have said in the past, is that perhaps this film is seen by those on the woke side as an opportunity to say, go woke, go broke is dead. It never existed. We don't need to be afraid of it. We need to go more woke than ever before. That's what audiences want, et cetera, et cetera. So here's what Kongman Lee says. He says, principled conservatives are once again handing the left, and again, I would say woke, not left. That's just me. A victory by praising Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. They dismiss concerns about race swapping and casting as mere identity politics and skin color, claiming the film is still great despite the obvious subversions of Western foundational myths. All right, let's go to Kongman Lee and hear a little bit from him and his take on this, where he's again going after Ben Shapiro a little bit, strongly.
Ben Shapiro and Dave Rubin say, look, even right-wingers like The Odyssey. All the people complaining about wokeness in this film, you guys are just miserable chuds who don't know how to enjoy anything good in life. And this is the problem. This is the problem with principled conservatives. That they literally give ammo and ammunition to the left constantly. And when push comes to shove, they will side with the left. That's what these principled conservatives do. Like, I don't know. That's why also these principled conservatives go after J.D. Vance.
All right, we don't need to get into political stuff, but I did want to hear what you guys think about this. The idea that, as soon as the box office gets big, or as soon as it's Christopher Nolan, oh my gosh, it's Christopher Nolan, suddenly you throw out all the principles and say, oh, I love it, oh, I love it, I love it, I love it. What do you guys think about that criticism?
So, go ahead, Lou. I'll wait.
All I was going to say was that all of this has gotten to the point where it's really bad for box office, regardless of which side you take, because it's, instead of the movie lecturing, it's all the people talking about the movie lecturing. And either way, people say, I'd rather go see something diverting and fun. I don't need this aggravation. Mm-hmm. So everybody who came to see it for the reasons of the ideology, pro or against, has seen it. Now what? Right. I think the bottom line is it's bad for box office to have this much after the fact pontificating from either side, really.
Kevin, do you think does it represent the weakness of the right? We've seen this over and over again where commentators who fancy themselves whatever the right is, they're on the right, seem to just get in fight after fight after fight. Like, especially, you know, in the last year, they just nonstop poking and pinching and twisting and turning. And that doesn't seem to be what happens on the woke side. Not talking about classical liberals, but on the woke side, man, they march in step. They're monolithic.
Yeah, well, that's it. Yes, on the woke side, the wokesters, it is a hive mind. So they are the Borg. They do, you know, they do what they are told when they are told and how they are told to do it. On the other side, you know, yes, you do have. When I look at the discussion of this movie, I do think that you know, people are correct. If you want to get down and talk about the merits of what happened with this film, I am a firm believer that this should have been called Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey, not The Odyssey. If you're going to tell me that you're making a movie about The Odyssey, I'm expecting fidelity to the text, at least as we understand the text. I know blah 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 got passed down, blah blah blah. But as I read it in high school, that is what I'm expecting to see on the screen. And yes, you know, the Armand Assante version that came on NBC all those years ago that had Vanessa Williams. You know, there is a difference between casting the right actor for the job and then jam packing it full of the diversity. So yes, I do think that, you know, there is merit in saying, you know, there is a desire, you know, we've got to be honest, right? When you look on the not woke side, there is just a dearth of leadership right now. You've got a lot of voices jockeying for position. You know, you've got a lot of people who've lost their flipping minds, and you're seeing a lot of people who are being exposed. But right now, because of all this chaos, there is no leadership, and when that happens, you start seeing people, frankly, be desperate for attention and popularity. And yes, I do agree that some of these opinions, to me, in my opinion, are not genuine. I think that they are going, oh, look, it's Christopher Nolan, and we, you know, the good thing to do right now is to say, hey, look, not all conservatives think like this. I'm the good one. And we see this problem. You know, we look at Republicans, right? I say there's this desire to, you know, the media, you know, if it, for the sake of let's turn this into an 80s movie, an 80s teen movie. The conservatives, for all intents and purposes, are the fat girl standing up against the wall at the dance, and they're hoping that the media, the good-looking jock, wants to dance with them. And in reality, it's always going to be Carrie at the end, and you're going to get covered in pig's blood, and they're all going to laugh at you. But they keep hoping that that they're gonna magically turn into Jennifer Lee Cook when someone takes their glasses off.
Right.
You know, it's kind of hard to say who's being honest and who actually liked the movie. Again, there's no accounting for bad taste.
Yeah,
entertainment is subjective, and then there are some people who are I guess almost reverse virtue signaling. And it should be called out because you should take umbrage with some of the decisions that were made for this movie.
So let's talk about that for a minute, real quick, because if we go to Criticalist, where I think we've got the most accurate review scores, you got more than 200 votes, and 47% is the average score for the Odyssey. Okay? Whatever you might think about that score, and by the way, this is mirrored on Metacritic, it's mirrored on IMDb. You don't see this on Rotten Tomatoes. I'll let people figure that out on their own, why they think that might be. But this is not the greatest movie ever. I don't understand why some of these commentators are acting like it's the greatest movie ever when it features these stunt casting efforts that are meant to be very woke, and then they come out and they say, oh, it's the best movie I've seen in years. Or like Jonathan Pajot saying, oh, it's a return to Christianity. It's like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? So if they liked it, that's fine. If they didn't like it, that's fine. I didn't give it a terrible score. I didn't give it a great score. I get a 6.5. I'm higher than the people on Criticalist. But I'm not going to come out and say, oh, man, this is the greatest movie I've ever seen, because it's not. And so if you do that, that's where the criticism is coming from from folks who say, "Oh, come on." Come on. You know, like,
let's face it. If it had cost $75 million, it wouldn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
It
Right.
carries with it a certain obligation to be the greatest movie, because if it isn't, we made a big mistake spending all that money, which it may turn very well out to be. But it carries a portent with a major director and a huge budget and a couple of big stars that sort of obligate it to be better than it apparently is. So it's got those strikes going against it from the get-go.
there you go. But the Odyssey, tearing conservatives apart. Kevin, I'll give you the final word. I'm just amazed how many times that side is being torn apart by issues that you think would, be kind of unifying. And they continuously just go for the, the KO against each other.
Well, it's at some point in time, everybody's got to decide to grow up, and doing the right thing or the noble thing is not always the easy thing. And you're seeing people who are hell-bent on doing the easy thing because they have a desire to be popular. I think we're all human and we understand it, but the reality of it is that if we are ever going to get away from the 10 culture, that is also destroying movies, because something cannot be both the worst thing and the greatest thing. Sometimes it can just be a thing, and there's nothing wrong with that. Getting a C+ is sometimes okay. Wait a minute.
Are you saying that because are you saying, Kevin, that because I gave this a 6.5, somehow I have landed upon credibility with this thing?
I think so. Listen, because because I haven't seen the movie yet, and I also have no intention of seeing the movie, or at least until I can watch it on one of the many streaming services I do not want to pay for. But I am assuming, Christopher Nolan is a very talented filmmaker, so I'm assuming that there's going to be some quality craftsmanship here.
Technically, it's incredible from a technical creation of the film. This is why I got a 6.5 from me. If we just went on the story and Matt Damon helps, Tom Holland helps, Anne Hathaway does as good a job she can. The technical part of the film is what lifts it. The story is not that great, and the stunt casting really, really doesn't work.
Yes, so that's it. And so now we've got to find a way to get back to a space where we can discuss things honestly, because something can be a technical masterpiece, and it can be, a storytelling train wreck. I think the discourse around this movie will change depending upon how this weekend and next weekend do, right? Because everybody wanted to watch the train leave Curiosity Station, so the first week was always going to do well. The pre-sales for this were always going to do well. What the real question is, does this thing have legs?
Well, I think it does have legs. We'll find out more in just a few.
But does it know how to use them? As ZZ Top would have said.
She's got legs. Does she know how to use them? Elon Musk is declaring war on the Odyssey, and he might know more than the average drive-by journalist will explain. But let's just say, folks, the Odyssey, despite its huge box office numbers, might be selling tickets around the same as Superman of last year, and Superman, I dare say, was a disappointment. We'll show you everything right now. Out of Deadline, Anthony D'Alessandro, The Odyssey scores $21 million plus. Record Tuesday for Christopher Nolan. Second U.S. weekend could top Dark Knight. So just as we told you right here on this channel, I said it would have a big Monday. I said it would have a huge Tuesday. I explained why. I said because there are only so many IMAX seats, because this is an IMAX event film. People could not get in. They're going to go see it Monday, Tuesday. Tuesday is a cheaper day. Average ticket price for the Odyssey, we believe, is $25. That is over the $16 average just movie ticket price for the year. It says Christopher Nolan scored his best Tuesday ever at the domestic box office as the Odyssey rang up $21.4 million. That bests his previous Tuesday high, which was The Dark Knight. The revised number for Universal ranks as the second best Tuesday year-to-date behind Toy Story 5's $23.69 million, and it's the second best Tuesday ever for Universal after Jurassic World. Okay, so it's having a good time, right? So you would say, okay, I'm inclined to say everything's A-okay with the Odyssey. And sure enough, as we predicted, it blew past $300 million. Folks, we're still not sure that the billion is easy, though, because of Spider-Man at 327. Now, here's what I would say, and then we're going to get into the Elon aspect of this. There's a movie out there that you need to know, and that's Superman, James Gunn, 2025, and we've talked about this in the past, how this was a disaster for DC, set up the Supergirl dilemma, and even in congressional hearings, they admitted that this film had underperformed. It made $618 million. Now, I'm using this as our comp because if the movie ticket prices that the Odyssey has are applied to Superman, Superman suddenly starts to perform like the Odyssey. In other words, people are paying much higher prices to see the Odyssey, but fewer people than you would anticipate with the kind of numbers that it's achieving. Seeing a 327 is impressive, no doubt. And it's going to make money? Probably. However, it is based off of these very high IMAX ticket prices. Can it go past 2 weeks? It's going to do great for 2 weeks. Don't be fooled, don't be tricked. And no, there is no evidence that I see that has any credibility that the theaters are, paying to have, or the studios are paying to have empty seats. That is not happening in my estimation. There's no shenanigans in terms of this, except for the cost of the ticket is very, very high. Now, can it go past 2 weeks, which it'll need to break even, get to the $750 million mark at least? We'll see. But one thing's for sure. Elon Musk is not giving up. He's not done. Do you remember that he was waging war on this thing as it was getting ratioed over and over with trailers? Well, Elon Musk now says, according to Paul Tassi from Forbes, he's ready to give Mel Gibson $100 million to make an accurate Odyssey, and that's not all. Elon is ready to throw in Grok with the AI stuff to help get this thing made. No, seriously. It says the Odyssey is setting critical and box office records in various categories nearly every day. But there remains a loud subsection of social media users, mostly found on X, who remain dead set against the film. Oh, no, we'll be in that dead set because I say it's a 6.5. It's just okay. It's meh. But Musk is making new claims about the film, showing off a Grok-created Odyssey clip and then saying, before this year ends, Grok Imagine will make a full-length movie of the Odyssey that is historically accurate and true to the art of Homer. This has been done with a different AI-created Odyssey film that has been getting a lot of negative, well, he puts that attention. Musk also seems open to the idea of giving money to a human director, responding to a post that says he wants Musk to give director Mel Gibson $100 million to make a historically accurate Odyssey. To which Musk answered, I'm down. Many users noted that Gibson is not exactly a beacon of historical accuracy with his films like Braveheart, Apocalypto, The Patriot, The Passion of the Christ, and more. I don't think that Mel Gibson has been, completely, totally ahistorical. Definitely not to the degree of this Odyssey film, where Christopher Nolan has done all kinds of things, like retconning Odysseus into being the villain, the guy who broke Zeus's law, which, by the way, is a ripoff of biblical principles you'll find in the book of Hebrews, and in the story of the angels who are presented as strangers to Abraham. Anyway, tangent. I'll get off of it. Let me go first to Lou. Lou, if Elon wants to drop $100 million and use this as his test case for a Grok-based film at the end of the year, what say you? Does he?
Sure.
It's Elon.
Why not? I mean, what are you going to do? Bribe him with money to not do it?
Well, that's a good point. What is the line he told Bob?
Yeah.
Bribe me with money. Go fund yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's talk about that aspect for a minute, because it turns out that Elon Musk, everybody mocked him. Kevin, you remember this when they mocked him when he bought X? You remember when Bob Iger of Disney tried to make sure that he went under? They refused to run ads, and a bunch of other companies joined in hand, and it looked like Elon Musk might have made a bad deal, might have been done. They tried to take him down. And then, Kevin, it turns out that, 2-3 years later, Bob Iger's out at Disney. Disney is stuck in the same place it was for 11 years with its stock. And Elon turned into the world's first trillionaire. SpaceX AI opened to the largest IPO I think we've ever seen. Kevin, I'm going to say, don't doubt Elon. We can laugh about it. We can have fun with it. But this guy thinks the Odyssey matters, and he's willing to put his money behind it and give Mel Gibson a whole lot of cash if Mel Gibson's willing. Listen, when Elon does this stuff, Kevin, I don't snicker. I say, wait a minute. This guy's quicker than the average bird.
Listen, I think he's 100% correct. The Odyssey does matter. Classic literature matters. These stories matter. These are foundational to Western civilization. And I think the issue here that a lot of the conservative pundits are missing is that we know why the stunt casting happened. This was about subverting the expectations of the kids who've never read the Odyssey, who don't have any expectations. Because now the Nolan version becomes their version of the story. It becomes the foundation upon how they look at it. Just no different than, I don't know, someone, no different than Richard Donner, classic Superman. The Christopher Reeve's interpretation of Clark Kent influenced how people think about Clark Kent. Clark Kent was not like that in the comics. So something like this can have long-lasting ramifications on how a story is perceived and interpreted. This was intentional. So yeah, and Elon has proven, and many a time, that once you challenge him and he is behind something, that he will be hell bent on being derailed by doubters. Listen, I think Elon is fascinating even long before he decided to go down this political path. Just going all the way back to the PayPal days, his brain just functions on a different wavelength. He sees things that people don't see. And, now he has the money to go chase it. And ultimately, if he wants to go make another Odyssey, I think that's a good thing. Because like Lou said, this is not good for box office, right? Everybody who wanted to go see this, the folks who got their marching orders to go, the folks who wanted to be proven right, the folks who wanted to have something to grouse about, they've all seen it, and they're not going to go back a second time. They'll pretend they did, but they're not going to go back a second time. So if you want to get people back into the theater, you've got to have some kind of competition. And you know what? I do long for the days where, a linear thinking kind of gave you 3 of the same kind of movie, in a box office season. So yes, Elon, do it. Give me a story accurate version of the Odyssey. Find a director who has the stones to actually deliver it. Make it as gritty as you have to, and give me something that I can enjoy.
Yeah, and by the way, Mel Gibson's kind of busy with his sequel to The Passion of the Christ right now. What have he got Tarantino? And said, make me a rock'em sock'em robot movie of this thing. What do you say, Quentin? There's a lot of good directors out there who could do it, is all I'm trying to say. So let's not be tied to the one. But
let me ask you about this, Lou. So everybody's losing their minds about the Odyssey. Okay, it's the giant story because the woke think that this proves that they've done what they set out to do, which is defeat the people who were critical of Ghostbusters 2016 and The Last Jedi and Captain Marvel, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, this movie, which is at 327 right now, if it makes 800, if it makes 850, because the ticket price is so high, the actual number of tickets sold will match Superman. Now, it may make $1 billion, and we'll reassess at that point. But if it lands around 800 to 850, which is where I think it's probably headed right now because of Spider-Man, we are making such a big fuss about a film that is at the same level as the James Gunn movie that we all said, oh no, trouble ahead. And Lou, you were telling us before that Christopher Nolan has a deal in this where he gets a huge cut out of it. So this movie may not be making all that much money in reality, and may not be the cultural moment that people are assessing simply because they don't understand the box office.
There's one other factor to consider. When Kevin said that people have seen it, they're not going to want to see it again. You know what also they're not going to want to do? Even if they've got a pretty big screen at home. If the whole point is to go see this epic, big IMAX thing, and that's part of the reason for going, not the content of the movie, maybe you don't care about buying the cassette or the disc or the streaming version. Maybe you just don't care. Maybe it's like, I've done it and that's it, and that was swell. Next. It works against it as far as the later life of it is concerned.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Well, I here, and I know we're talking about it, but I do think that we would be remiss in not plainly stating it. This is about the number of butts in the seats. We know that ticket prices are highly inflated at the moment. So we do need to have an honest look and go, hey, fine, this movie has made all this money, but how many people actually want to go see it? That we're going to have to get to a point where that's going to have to be the actual indicator of success, because the velocity of a dollar is not anywhere near what it needs to be at this moment in time.
And I'm telling you, people are throwing up their hands, the average Joe out there, and saying, I don't need this aggravation. Give me Spider-Man.
Well, I'll tell you. So I don't think there's rewatchability of the movie. I mean, I'm not going back. I think it would be difficult to watch it twice, even if you have a 6-month span between when you watch it in theaters, when you watch it at home.
And by the way, like we always on the genre guys, we're talking about, hey, buy it and hold it because who knows what they'll do to it. I've got the Nolan Batman movies on disc, and by God, I do watch them every year or two.
Yeah, they're very, very good.
Not this.
Yeah. Okay. So, but the other aspect of this too is the analysts, they have access. There are companies that track the number of tickets sold. They are terrified to use that number instead of the box office, because the box office number always gets the pleasure of inflation, which lets them come out with headlines every year that says biggest and best movie ever. And they say that because inflation made it possible to do so. If you go back in time, if you compare some of these movies to stuff like Snow White or Gone with the Wind, like there's no comparison in terms of cultural relevancy. This movie, although it's going to be a big number financially, and maybe the lesson to be learned is jack up the ticket prices, although I'm not advocating for that. Maybe that's the lesson to be learned here. If you jack up the ticket prices, you get big numbers, looks real good. But in terms of like how many people are going to see it, how many people are going to enjoy it, we're at DC levels. I'm not sure it's the celebratory moment that the woke think it is.
But wait, it could be much worse. What if this was a Disney movie? And the only aftermarket was, well, maybe we'll sell some memberships in Disney Plus to watch it there.
Oh,
I
boy.
don't think so.
I
don't think so. It could always be worse, I guess.
I will say this as we get ready to wrap up the segment. Don't doubt Elon, 1. But 2, what he's describing is not new. We just saw Young Washington come out. Didn't do great at the box office. It did okay. But it uses AI. Did you know it uses AI? Bet you didn't if you saw it. Because it was so good. Every one of those cannons that fired, those were historical cannons. They came in and used AI to make it look like they were firing. So if Elon wants to do it, it's already been done. This is not something that's outside of his abilities. And Elon Musk, you know what? Becoming the richest man in the world means you've got the artillery to put some stuff on the screen and say what you want to say. He bought X. I would say he can buy some screens.
And if sorry,
well,
I'm sorry.
Sorry, Lou. It stuttered on me. I stopped it for.
Step on him. I
no,
apologize.
I stopped it, Lou. Go ahead.
Well, all I was going to say was he's a billionaire. 100 million is 10%.
I'm so sorry.
If he wants to spend a dime out of $1 and make a movie, who's going to tell him no?
I agree with you. It just cracks me up that we managed to. No, it just cracks me up that I stopped it and it played again on me. And I was like, no, wait a minute. We can rescue this. And then, you know what? Here you go. Oh, so much fun.
I
All
gotta
right.
have a better sense of when you're button.
No.
It's too, and we'll go on from there. It's okay.
We all practice together. All right, folks, that's how the show gets done. Sometimes it's messy, but you know what? We're having a good time. We hope you are too. A 365 Ral out there, remember, for 14 months. For the record, Mickey is rooted in Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. That's right. Disney bought that rabbit back. Francis Hates, member for 34 months. The Fall of Hollyweird is delicioso. It's delicious and nutritious. Chris Dickerson has dropped at 440 gems for the Unk Alert. We've got Chameleon Strikes for 5. Would Elon back a Snow White 2? I have a script ready. It's more like an ever after adaptation. You know, the only problem with Snow White is after the Daily Wire, after Jeremy Boring faked that thing and sent Brett Cooper out there to do a quick photo op with no idea what they were going to do thereafter. I'm going to say let's just leave Snow White. Let's go do another one. Let's just go do another one.
Beauty's Lie.
That's right. 365 Ral for 5. It's just a movie, except if it's too white. A director-actor has wrong think. Or a non-white character has a white voice actor. I will tell you, folks, that at Southeast Game Exchange, the guy who forced the voice acting industry to only be, the race that you are. In other words, you could not have Uncle Phil Avery play Shredder anymore. The guy who decided it has to be by the race, you can only play the race that you are, he was there, and he was looking for anybody to come and take a photo with him, get a signature. In the entire time that I was at Southeast Game Exchange, 3 days, I never saw a single person, not one person, go up to him and get his autograph, get a picture, say hi, and he just sat there on his phone the whole time. Beside Critical Drinker and Scott the Waz and others, that line's going forever.
Too bad.
That's what he did. 3 days, 3 days straight. We got Brie Cheese. I like that name. For 10 gems, it's a gold coin. Christy Alexander is dropping 400 gems for the Eggle. Go Eggles! Bad News Badger for 100 crowns. My issue with this film, had I watched it pre-2020, I would have rated it a small 8, maybe 8.5. I just can't erase the past 8 years of Hollywood, and as such, I land on a high 4. Small 5 if you squeeze hard. Well, don't squeeze too hard. I'm going to tell you, it's 2 hours to get to a 1 hour pretty good movie. And for me, I don't want to sit through 2 hours of rough. It's 2 hours of rough before you get there. Keely the Light, remember for 1 month, we are entering the find out zone. Douglas Nutt for 5, when it comes to the Odyssey and other stories and legends, what will our children's inheritance be? Bluey. That's where we are right now. What are the kids watching?
And be careful what you wish for. I mean, we had the great Lord of the Rings, and now they're screwing that up. And we had pretty good Harry Potter, and now they're apparently screwing that up. So they won't let the wins last long enough to be permanent. So
true, definitely true.
And I hold my breath wondering what's going to happen to James Bond, because the last movie sucked. And who knows what they'll do next, So
that's right. The good news is, folks, I think we're going to take back our stories, and I think kids are going to earn and inherit great stories from us. Keely the Light for $4.99, now entering the find out zone. Bohica. Kevin, do you know what this means? What is Bohica?
The last of the Mohicans?
Beware our hellacious ice cream assault.
Okay, I'll buy that.
Somebody tell us, what does it mean? Christian Corralejo for 5. It was actually brought up on Valiant Renegade today that young people are actually picking up reading the original Odyssey because of Nolan's film.
Yeah, well.
Maybe.
Not with the teachers they've got these days.
Yeah, maybe. Listen, maybe. I don't want to poo-poo anything, but color me cynical on that one.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, got some skepticism. Keely for $4.99. I wonder if Disney is buying phantom tickets and there are no shows. Nope. I don't think that's happening in this case. I don't think it happened with Toy Story. I do think we have seen something possible. I'm not going to tell you the movie that may have happened this year. I'll tell you that Wiz can help you out if you want to know who it might be. But there you go, folks. Not having with Disney, not having with Universal, not at least this year. All right, folks, that's where we are going to wrap it up for today. We got one more super chat that came in. Dove for Spirit for 5. Maybe Elon could sponsor a competition and offer $100 million to the YouTuber who makes the best historically accurate Odyssey true to Homer's story. Oh, that sounds like a great idea. I love my story. Let's go for it. Yeah, it sounds
Talk
cool
about
to me.
stunt casting. How about Homer Simpson as Odysseus?
Oh, I want to get off this boat, but all my men are dying. All right, folks, we got to get out of here. We're going to be on the road. We got a show tomorrow. Come back and see us. And apologies on Kongman Lee and apologies on the technical difficulties we had with Wiz. These things happen from time to time. Not often, but they do happen from time to time. Wolfie McGruffles dropped by for 5 for the goal and the Homer voice that just happened. You know what? I'll just read it that way. For the goal and the Homer voice that just happened while I type this. Woohoo! Thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh, what was the goal for today? I forget.
The goal is to give away VIP access to that park place. So while I get that ready to go, Lou, tell the folks out there about Lou's views and the other things you
I'm
do.
actually going to be putting 2 new episodes, maybe 3, up in the next couple of days, so you can get all the latest. Lou's views is when I have something else to say besides what I say here in a short version, and I don't do it on a regular scheduled basis. I do it because I don't want to waste your time with filler. Okay, no AI slop on Lou's views.
Never.
But, it's my Patreon, and it costs $5. And if you're curious what I've got to say about other things, everything from food to wine to politics to how showbiz might affect your biz, come join us. And if not, that's cool too. And then, of course, we do this show, and normally on Wednesday nights, Culture and I would then pick up the baton from here and go on with the backlot. We will do that again next week, of course. And have I got a great jukebox cut for that? Wait, come back in a week just to hear some great music. I've got that for that too. And of course, we've got the genre guys. We are about to do a major foray into Westerns over the next couple of weeks. So I'm around. You can find me.
There you go.
Wherever there is danger. Wherever, that whole...
I do.
The one amigo, that's me.
That's right. Kevin, tell the folks out there where they can find you and what you do, please.
Sure. So, I, now that I'm have energy and vim and vigor again, I'm gonna try to relaunch the House of Apollo. I think we're gonna do a video on the on this bizarre BBC campaign where what has the BBC ever done for me? I think I want to talk about its outlandish tone deafness. Then you can find me over at Lauren and Apollo, which I don't know where our good friend Lauren is. I hope we're live on Friday, but if not,
you will be. He will be back and ready to go this Friday.
And outside of that, you can find me over at the wonderful Fontana Village Resort as I do everything in my power to restore this wonderful piece of history's luster. We're going to have some very fun, exciting announcements very soon. Working on a special project with some friends from a former life of mine to do something that'll be really entertaining for the folks. So, stay tuned. I think I'm going to announce it on Lauren Apollo.
Folks, we've got the code out there for you if you'd like to have a free month of VIP access on That Park Place. It's www.thatparkplace.com/membership. Code Homer, the number 4 TW. Homer for the win. All right, folks, it's time for us to get on out of here. We got to go flying into the sky filled with diamonds and bring you the tendies you need. Tomorrow, we're talking about the stories, the scoops, to tell you what's happening in Hollyweird. Be back. Join us tomorrow. We've got Christian Toto. We've got Jonas. We've got more. Can't wait to see you there. Folks, ladies and gentlemen, have a great night. And wherever you are, whatever you're doing, Spider Pig does whatever a Spider Pig does. Kevin, take it away.
I can't do anything better than that. That was spectacular.
Oh, can he swing from a web? No, he can't. He's a pig. Look out! Spider Pig.
The mainstream media just can't understand how it is we continue to do what we do. They don't realize that we are powered by you, and you are...
1.21 gigawatts! 1.21 gigawatts!
Folks, we've still got decades and decades left in the can. It drives the mainstream mad.
Would it make you feel any better if you knew that what we're asking Matt here to do is a holy thing?
You see, we're on a mission from God. We're on a mission from God.
Now you're gonna put me right back in the joint.
They're not gonna catch us. We're on a mission from God.
So, folks, as we always say, as we end each and every show here, and we mean it, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.
Every time they hit him, he stood back up again. So they hit him harder. Still, he got back to his feet. Standing man.